9 out of 10 pharmacists don't negotiate their salaries when offered after the interview. And so in this video, I want to do my very best to convince you that it is totally worth it to negotiate your salary, whether you're just getting your first job or you've been practicing for years. You are leaving money on the table. As the average client we work with gets about $8,000 more per year after working through our negotiation mastery and our coaching program, which, by the way, we're going to give you negotiation mastery for free. It's at a link in the description. But in this video, I want to share with you some things that you can do to prepare to negotiate your salary job offer. Why should you negotiate? I get this question sometimes. Look, you're a pharmacist, whether you're in retail, hospital, clinical, pharmacy, whatever, you are responsible for producing millions of dollars of revenue for a company, and you get a small fraction of that. If you were to just do the math on what you produce from your work, from verifying scripts to doing clinical outcomes, the amount of money that you've saved and earned for the company is worth a good salary. You need to negotiate your salary because if you don't, we're going to continue to see this stagnant salary process that we've been dealing with because our salaries haven't been increasing with inflation. So it matters because if you don't negotiate, well, then you should expect a pretty flat rate for your salary in the future jobs. Because if you ask for more at this job, it gives you the power to negotiate for your next opportunity. So the first step is to research and prepare. In Negotiation Mastery, which is a free course in our community you can get for free, you can learn the resources that we recommend in order to figure out what salary data you want to bring. But honestly, you can just look a lot of the stuff up online. There's, of course, Glassdoor and salary.com, but you ultimately want to determine your BANTA, your best alternative to the negotiation agreement, your lowest amount that you're willing to take for whatever position they are asking for. Having this research, knowing what the market is bearing, knowing what you could get at another company gives you data and information to present when negotiating your contract. Think of it like your value package. Imagine that you were the CEO of your career and your whole job was to promote and sell the assets that you have created over time in exchange for value and goods and services for something else like money. And in this case, you want to make sure that you understand what everyone else is reporting. And right now, so many people are so generous to share what their salaries were at previous jobs and companies, and it's all posted publicly and widely available. You're going to want to have this information regardless of however many places you interview. By knowing this, you are able to come to the negotiation table with the most important thing, information. The next step is to know what to say and when. Never, ever bring up salary or answer salary questions until they're giving you a job offer. Sometimes they force you to say something in the application process, like, what do you expect? And honestly, I would put question marks down. I would put $100 million down. I'd be cheeky about it. Because if someone asks you what your expectations are for when they are offering a job to you, I think knowing what to say in that moment is very powerful. And it could be something as simple as, are you offering me a job right now? Because I don't think I know enough information to know what I'm doing in this position, all of my assigned responsibilities. I haven't read a contract. And without that information, it's very hard for me to know exactly what salary I should expect. When you're able to come up with this retort, they may push back, and it's like, well, guys, you hold way more power in the interview process than what you know and understand. And it is on you to hold that power and to not give it all away. If you say something even as low as well, I'm expecting somewhere between 120 and 140 in this position, and that that limits you for what you can ask in the future. The only time to start negotiating is when they give you the job offer, and they're the ones that are going to present it. You will not be the one to initiate that. And when they give you this job offer, usually it's over the phone or some sort of verbal conversation. It may be an email. And the best thing to do is to stay silent. I know this is challenging because essentially for most pharmacists, this is conflict, and most pharmacists are conflict averse. But you can say something simple like, I think that's a good start, and pause. Let them fill in the blanks. This would be a great thing for you to practice. And if you want more scripts on what to say during this process, check out Negotiation Mastery. There's a whole guide that shares what to say and how to say it. You want to avoid some common pitfalls. Like if you get asked what your current salary is, don't tell them. Be cheeky about it. If they ask you, say like, you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you if everyone here tells me your salary. You don't have to be rude. You don't be like, oh, that's rude. You just play it off. Be fun with this process. The more you treat the interview and negotiation like a game, the more that this can be fun for everyone involved. Another common mistake is to haggle over cents. Look, a dollar per more per hour is approximately $2,000 a year. And that's fine. That's probably the lowest amount that you'd want to negotiate for. But as you're doing your research, know what else you want from a job. There's, of course, sign-on bonuses. There's relocation packages. There are vacation packages that you can ask for. They may say something like, oh, this isn't negotiable. We can't do this. But then why are there always exceptions to the rule? When I was at my former employer, I negotiated for a 4-day work week. There is just something so sublime about having a 3-day weekend. I don't know about you, but I love it. I negotiated for it. And I used the fact that some employees, for whatever reason, were allowed to go remote while I was told that it was impossible for me. Well, come on. It's not impossible, but that's what I was told. So I use that as fodder to negotiate for that 4-day work week. When you feel yourself getting emotional or attacked, or you feel like this is really uncomfortable, take a moment to pause. There's nothing wrong with saying, I appreciate this information, and I want to take some time to think about it. You don't have to respond right away. And if they say something like, well, we need a response by the end of today, no, they don't. They can't force you. And if you feel uncomfortable with that, just ask a follow-up question. So you're telling me that if I don't give you an answer by the end of today, that you will rescind this job offer? I mean, just thinking out loud here, do you really want to work with someone who's like forcing you to make a decision? That sounds a little bit like manipulation. And I mean, if the money's good enough and you want to sacrifice your well-being for it, then go for it. But you can take time to think. You do not need to give a response right away. If you have a family, you should definitely be speaking with them about this job because it changes things for you, for them, and that's important. Taking time to follow up is important, but when you do, reestablish the fact that you are excited to work with them. This is a great way to start off the conversation. You could say something like, I'm very enthusiastic to start at X position at your facility. I've spoken with my wife. I've spoken with my partners on the project, my mentors, my whatever you need to do, and say, I've learned that this is what I believe the value of the project is. If they stay firm on the salary, they're not willing to move on it. Well, then ask if there's incentives. Ask for performance-based raises, promotion timelines, accomplishments on the journey in order to be incentivized to perform really well to achieve their goals and outcomes. And to be honest with you, I have not seen people be significantly happier if you make $5,000 more per year. You know what I have seen people be really happy about? An extra 2 weeks of vacation. Doing something as simple as taking time for your family is way more rewarding than an extra 5 grand, which can buy you, I don't know, 2 new fridges and a stove. I don't know. Depends how fancy you get. Golf, look, in fact, a common tactic that I like to give clients is if money isn't their top priority, then I say negotiate for money. But if they're not willing to move on it and expect it, then say, well, if you're not willing to give me this, then give me what I really want. Give me a bonus incentive. Give me a training budget to attend classes or whatever. Ask for what you really want, but using the guise of negotiating for the salary as like, well, if you're not willing to give me this, then I want this. Asking for more doesn't make you pushy. It makes you professional. You know, in other industries, it's actually frowned upon if you don't negotiate for your salary. In healthcare, we have this dogma, this indoctrination that tells us that, we're servants, we help others, and the last person we should help is ourselves. And to ask for more money, that's selfish. But you've worked hard for it, and you should honor your work with a salary that is deserving of it. So those are my negotiation tips. If this has been helpful, like the video and check out our negotiation guide and expert interviews that will help you negotiate for a higher salary or whatever benefits you are seeking. It's totally free to do so. And if you like this video, like, subscribe. We post weekly content about pharmacy careers weekly. Yeah, I said that. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a great time negotiating for all you're worth. So until I see you in the next one, stay curious and take care.